Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our first Compound Mastery training. We'll be getting started in just a minute. All right. Give me 1 second here, folks. Let's go ahead and make sure we're all set up. Very good, very good. All right. So just quick visual check. If you guys can see just the title screen, Compound Mastery in 8 minutes, let me know in the chat to make sure you guys can see my slides. Yes, yes, yes. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover really important information that's going to help you have a better understanding of what we're doing on the morning calls, how you should set your account up, how you should prepare yourself to get the most out of the morning calls. We try to cover as much information as possible prior to the actual opening of the market where we start taking trades. But of course, we only have about 10 minutes before the market opens. And that's not enough time to truly go over the information you need to know to give you the best experience. Now, here's what's cool. That's what we say, right? That it's not enough time, but it hasn't impacted anybody's trades, right? Everyone is crushing it. I mean, we've had unbelievable results. But what I want you to understand is that the more you do understand what we're doing, the more you become in control of your trading environment, the better results you'll get. And not just better in terms of the more money you'll make per day, but rather the more consistent you'll be able to become, the better your plan will be in compounding your account, right? That's the name of the game here. Compound, compound, compound. This is a topic that my team and I have done a deep dive study on, and we've interviewed hundreds of adults about compound interest. And most people just don't understand it, but it is the power and the key to your financial freedom. Okay. We're not here to help you make an extra $100 a month. That's not going to change anyone's life. Right. And I'm not belittling any type of gain. If you make $100 in a month from trading, that's awesome, but that's not why we're here. Okay. We're here because we have a breakthrough strategy that if you learn how to use it successfully, can generate wealth, right? You change your zip code. Your kids go to a different school. People start asking you, what the heck are you doing? Right? That's why we're here, right? We wouldn't, leave the privacy of our own homes and offices with our own trading strategy just to come out to make a small impact, right? So if that's you, if you're ready for real compounding results, let me know in the chat. Just tell me yes in the chat to let me know that I'm speaking to the right audience tonight. Okay, we got a couple people. All right. Okay, you guys agree. That's why you guys are here. Very, very good. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in. Some of this information will be a little bit of review from the mornings, but we've added important information, and this isn't everything. Here's what I want you to do is take a moment. Okay, what is today? June 29th. Today's June 29th. Okay. We're going to be doing this for weeks to come, months to come, years to come, right? We've already been working on this project with Youngevity for 19 months, right? That's over a year and a half. It took us 3 years to come up with the strategy. There's so much that went into this because we wanted to have the foundation so incredibly strong that we could build for a long time. Now, why am I telling you to think about how long we're going to be doing this for? It's to release you from anxiety and pressure that you have to hurry up and jump on a live account. You got to hurry up and push a bunch of buttons and jump into the trade. We are conditioned in network marketing, direct sales, whether you're a builder or just a customer, we're conditioned always to have a sense of urgency and a fear of missing out. And that's not a bad thing, right? Businesses grow because of FOMO and having a sense of urgency. That's all a good thing. But however, this is trading, and that's not conducive to a successful trading environment. It's not. High levels of emotions, stress, anxiety, feeling like you're missing out, that's actually counterproductive to the proper mindset of a successful trader. Okay, so you have time. That's what I'm here to tell you. You have time to learn this, to practice this. What we want you to do is take your time and get it right. Okay, the last thing you want to do is rush the experience because of all the excitement and then make a mistake. And then the mistake is emotionally devastating, or it knocks the wind out of you. And then you're a little demoralized, right? You're not as pumped up because you went in and messed yourself up. How many of you guys know we mess ourselves up all the time, right? We mess ourselves up all the time. We do things and we're like, why did I do that? Why did I just rush into that? Why didn't I think before I took action, right? That's what I'm telling you guys. We have time. Okay. Now, some of you are more advanced, right? Everyone comes from a different place. Some of you are more advanced. Some of you are ready to participate. Some of you have been participating. Some of you are already on a live account. Hey, you want to hear some cool things? There are new people joining our calls who have already made in the last week more profit on their live account just from participating in the morning calls than what the cost is going to be to buy the package to join, right? Like, can you imagine? We're helping people get on for free. They're able to use their live account when they're ready, and they make more money on the free call than the cost to join. That means they literally raised the money to join by getting on the free call. That's incredible, right? I've never seen that. So that's cool. Shout out to people that are ready. At the same time, though, if you're unsure of yourself, you have time. And that's the good news, right? And I want you to approach your journey with patience for yourself. And know, we make it look easy. I mean, how many of you guys would agree, right? We make it look so easy. We get on, got a couple lines going, take a couple trades, boom, people are crushing world record results. There's a lot that goes into that. And that's what we're going to cover. So let's go ahead and jump in. Remember, this is a call only available to active subscribers who maintain active subscriptions, including all future trainings, right? Once we launch, everyone chooses to attend or subscribe to these calls at their own discretion. All trade ideas, concepts, images, discussions presented on the call are delivered to everyone uniformly. This is for educational purposes only. We have no regard for an individual's trade objectives, financial condition, or suitability, and you should never interpret this information as financial advice. Remember, trading on margin, which is what we do, that can carry a unique and potentially high level of risk. So when you join our calls, if you choose to follow or act on any of the trade ideas that are discussed, you acknowledge that you're doing so at your own discretion. And remember, you're fully responsible for the outcome of your trading decisions. Always remember, never trade with money you can afford to lose. That last sentence there, that you're fully responsible for the outcome of your trading decisions, that's a very good thing. Okay, that's what this whole program is about. We've been around this industry for 19 years, some of you longer, and you've seen all the devastating effects of people who relinquish the responsibility to a different party, right? You send your money to some company, you send your money to some other person on the internet in hopes that, some other program or platform can help you grow your money, all to become disappointed That's why we created this. We said, you don't have to do that anymore. That's the old way of thinking, right? Like it's 2022, folks. Technology has advanced far enough to where you don't have to send your money to other companies in hopes of a daily profit. You can keep your money inside your account. You can be in full control at all times, 24 hours a day, always have full access to your money and get results better than what other companies and platforms that are in the trading space offer. That's the whole point, is take control. This is going to be a big journey of you versus you believing that you can do it. The reason why people don't get deep into trading is because they doubt themselves and they make mistakes or they have a couple losses and they give up. We've simplified it to the point where we are proving now that anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. So it's win-win. We have people getting huge daily results, daily pay, daily profit, every day compounding their account, and yet their money stays inside their own account. This is the coolest thing ever. Now, when you think about, gosh, what happens if this grows for 3 months? Oh, what can happen to my account if it grows for 6 months? Now you don't have to worry about, oh, I hope this lasts. Oh, I hope the website doesn't disappear on me when I wake up tomorrow. A lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. You can get rid of that, right? You're finally on the home stretch here, right? So super cool stuff to be responsible. So let's discuss now the setup and being ready for the morning 8-minute trader calls. You're going to see a familiar screen. I'm going to go through this information, but you're going to see new information so that you're better prepared tomorrow. And what this is going to allow us to do is start condensing what we shared before the trading, because you've already gone through the training. So we don't have to try to rush through a bunch of information in 10 minutes. We could just cover some basic review and then jump into the trading, right? Because we really do want to stick to our calls in the morning, not being full of training, but being full of trading. And we want our calls to be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes long, right? From start to finish, where we're getting off. I mean, that's what's so amazing. So lately our calls have been like 20, 25 minutes. But we're only trading for like it's only 2 minutes, right? The rest of the time is like training and updates and announcements and stuff, right? So we're going to start working towards bringing it back down. When we were with our smaller beta group, we were getting on and off within about 10 minutes, right? We'd start at 9:25 because there was only a few people getting on. We didn't have to go through a whole introduction. We'd look at the market, take some trades. 9:34, 9:35, we were done. And then we were, kind of asking around, hey, how'd you do? Oh, I did great. How about you? All right, cool. Hey, it's 9:38. Let's go ahead and get off. Right. That's what makes this so amazing, is the super small time commitment. I'll tell you what, there's a guy today, maybe he's on here right now, but there's a gentleman that I was talking to on Facebook Messenger, and he wants to become a full-time trader, which really means he wants to make a full-time income. That's what that means. He wants to make a full-time income trading, right? It doesn't mean he needs to trade 40 hours a week. That's not how we do it. But he has a day job. And what he started doing this week is he started scheduling his 15-minute breaks during our morning call. And this morning he went live. He has some trading experience. He's never really succeeded, but he had a live account with some money sitting in it. And so he decided to participate in today's call. He made 8.8% this morning on his 15-minute break at work. Can you imagine how hard it was for him to go back to work? Right. But he shared that with me. And I said, come on, that is what I'm talking about. That is absolutely incredible that he can get on his break at work, still participate with us and crush it, and then still go back to his job. Right. So to see what's happening, guys, this is just the beginning. There's so much we have in store for you. This isn't all we have, right? Like, we've been planning this for 19 months. We have some amazing surprises for you. And if you're excited now, you're going to be blown away with what we're bringing out in the coming weeks and in the coming months. This is going to be super, super special. This is a lifetime run here. This is, like I said, it's home stretch. We are going to run big and hard, and we got everything we need to be uber successful. Now, you're going to see lines in the mornings running across the coach's screen. Let me clarify something. When you download the software, okay, when we launch and you get access to the files, you download the software, you'll have all of the stats on your software, right? Like the lot size and the dollar percentage and all of that, the close all trades, you'll have that button on your chart. That's the most important button of the entire strategy because it allows you to execute with speed. You will not have the buy and sell zones, right? You don't need those. But the reason you won't have the actual zones on your screen is because they are adjusted in real time. People ask, how do you know where to put the buy and sell zones, right? And some people with technical analysis experience, they say, gosh, I noticed that you have those zones right at key levels where the candles reverse or they break through and then all of a sudden they take off into a breakout. And I notice on, volume indicators that that's where higher levels of volume tend to be. Understand this. I want you guys to keep this super simple. That's the point of the strategy. Simplicity is key. We're not going to complicate it. Now, what's really going on behind the scenes with our team is complicated, very complicated. This wasn't luck, right? We got on every day, and we're looking at market sentiment, news, right? What's the news surrounding US 30? There's news reports, red folder news events, orange folder news events popping up a lot of times around the market open, and the markets get choppy. And we have a whole bunch of different tools that we use to measure the markets. Some are based on price action, some are based on order flow and supply and demand and market liquidity. We look at multiple time frames. We look at different trend lines that are both your diagonal support and resistance lines. We also look at your horizontal support and resistance lines. We look at swing high lows and swing highs for daily and weekly time frames. There's so many things we look at before we put the buy and sell zone on the chart that it's impossible to just have it on your chart, right? Because they're adjusted in real time. If you guys notice, if you pay attention, sometimes you get on at, let's say, 925 and the buy zone is at a certain level of price. And then by like 927, the buy zone is at a slightly different level of price. It's being adjusted in real time. Now you can't see the coach's multiple screens, but there's several panels that the coach has set up to the left and right of his screen with all these different tools and indicators that are helping the coach know when to get in and when to get out of those trades, right? It's not random. Now that was the whole conundrum of starting this call. Is at first we're like, oh, wow, this is cool. We're going to teach everyone how to do what we're doing. And then we're like, wait a second, this took us like 2 years to figure out with all these tools. We started realizing how hard it is to teach all that to a new person. That's not good for network marketing, right? Who the heck wants to spend years learning all these technical charts and graphs? Technology changes so fast. By the time you learned it, it'll all be different again. It changes so fast, right? So we said, okay, we're done with our education in terms of being prepared to do this call and trade the market open. We're ready. The fastest way for you to be ready is for us to just share the screen. And then for you to be able to look over the shoulder of a coach and just listen to him articulate his own decisions and then choose at your own discretion how or how not to participate. That's it. That was the fastest path to helping you get ready. Now, that is unique in itself. Those of you that have been around trading, you know that there's not a lot of coaches out there that share their screen, place trades in front of everyone, talk about why they are or are not placing trades while teaching in this type of environment, right? Like there's people that, they train on like a 4-hour Forex chart, or you'll see people get on, as little as, let's say, a 15-minute Forex chart. I mean, that is, we kind of laugh at that. I love Forex. And so this is not a diss to Forex, but we do joke in our community, now Forex has become something where it's like watching the grass grow. And if you're a coach and you're teaching people while sharing your screen, while taking trades on Forex, that's a lot easier than doing that on the US 30. This was a whole new skill set where our coaches had to learn how to deal with the pressure of simultaneously managing, 400 eyeballs on a screen while still executing effectively, knowing that people are listening and watching. They're looking for leadership, and there's a high level of responsibility there, right? So the buy and sell zones will always only be on the coach's screen. So you will need to look at the coach's screen. What we're going to do is we will announce going forward what the price levels are on the coach's screen for the buy and sell zone, right? So you can get an idea. Now, some of you that, yeah, first off, a lot of you don't even have the close all trades button. You don't have anything, and you guys are crushing it, right? So once you have the stats and the close all trades button on your screen, you'll be even more equipped, right? You don't need the zones on your screen to follow the call. But those of you that are really fast and a little more tech savvy with MT4, you'll be able to place some lines really fast on your chart once we announce the price levels. Or you could just look yourself, right, and put them yourself in the morning. You don't need that. No reason to overcomplicate it. But if you feel comfortable having the zones on your screen, once you have the software, you'll be able to add those in just a quick second, right? So what do we have? We have lines running across the screen. The two green lines are called a buy zone. We know that the two red lines are called a sell zone. We know that after the market opens at 9:30 Eastern, if we see what? A green candle pierce the buy zone, we may look to enter into a buy trade. Now, what does that mean to pierce the buy zone? Let's clarify that. That could be the dashed line. That could be the solid line. The dash to the solid line is all a buy zone. Sometimes we wait till it crosses the solid line. Sometimes we wait till it just crosses the dashed line, right? Every day is a little bit different. Same thing with the sell zone, right? If a red candle goes down through the sell zone, we may look to enter into a sell trade. Here's what's so important is we are patient to get in because it's not just about the lines, but about candle behavior. And this is something that you don't need to learn yourself. You just don't. We're not going to train you on all these things that are unnecessary. I want you to look at this this product and this trading strategy. It's like if you go to a nice watch store, a premium watch store, like Audemars Piguet or Rolex, right? You go to a nice watch store and you're going to buy a watch because that's what you want. Now, you buy a watch because it feels good and it looks good. But can you imagine if a sales rep started trying to train you on all of the intricate inner working components of the watch and how it keeps the time and all of the mechanical functions? It's so unnecessary, right? Maybe sometimes someone might be a little curious to figure that out, right? I'd tell them, hey, just go watch a YouTube video, right? All of that information is on YouTube if you want to know how people are requesting transcription. We don't have translators on. I'm sorry, folks. We'll do a Spanish training just for those of you that speak Spanish. But I want you to look at this product like buying a watch, right? You're buying something that works, something that looks good, something that feels good. It's easy. You put it on and boom, it's telling you the time. It's giving you the information you need to know. You go on with your day, right? So don't go backwards on us, right? Don't go back in time to where we were a year ago trying to figure out all the intricate inner workings of the whole strategy, because it's a waste of time. And this is why the call is set up to where the coach shares a screen, because like Coach Maurice, he's been trading 21 years, right? I've been trading 8 years. We have a whole team of amazing traders. Some of you in our community are amazing traders, and you guys know that you learn to become familiar with how the candle's moving, and that gives you a feeling inside on what's going to happen next, because it's the flow of money causing these candles to move up and down, and whether there's a big wick or a small wick and how that candle closes. So all of that is being taken into consideration. That's why every day is so different. That's why sometimes you'll see Coach Mo get into a trade right when it crosses the dash line. Sometimes it'll tap the solid line and he still doesn't get in. He's looking at candle behavior, and that's something that comes with time and experience. It's also something that you don't need to know yourself. But you know what's so cool is if you get on these calls every day, you're going to start to learn. It's inevitable, right? It's like you learn by default. You'll start it's like your subconscious mind is staring at the screen, and you'll start noticing, oh man, that candle shot up fast. Oh, that one is struggling. Oh, that one has a big wick. Oh, that one's getting rejected, right? You'll start picking up on that. We've already seen people start to become more familiar with how candles are working. And here's what's so cool is that this is a skill that you'll learn and take with you for the rest of your life. You'll be able to go look at any financial chart in the world If you're watching the news and they're showing stock, you're looking at the cryptocurrency charts, you're looking at the price of gold, you're looking at commodities, oil, right? And you'll be able to see what's going on and be able to comment on that. Be like, oh yeah, that's bullish. Oh, look at that wick. Oh, what a rejection, right? People will be like, how the heck do you know that? I mean, just stare at something long enough and it'll become familiar. Everything's hard till it becomes easy. We're just here to let you know that that's not the goal where you have to learn any of that at all to participate with us. This strategy is not created for the technical analysis guy. This is created for the person who never wants to trade a day in their life. That's who we created the strategy for. The 95% of the world that are either not interested or have never been able to succeed. That's who we built this for, right? We're bringing freedom to the masses. So keep in mind, candle behavior is important. That's why every day is different. Sometimes we don't take trades, right? That's only happened a couple times where we did not get into a trade within the first 10 minutes because the market wasn't giving us any clear direction. Sometimes I would say even most of the time we take multiple trades, right? Why does the coach take multiple trades? There's a principle called cost averaging. Cost averaging means that you can reduce your lot size, reduce your risk, reduce the amount of money you're putting into that first trade to free up more money and have extra space on your account to get into a second position that might be in a better position. That's called a cost average trade. And so you'll see a lot of times Coach Mo, he cost averages to hedge his position and get a more advantageous spot. And that's a really smart thing to do. Me personally, I usually take about one cost average trade. The last couple of days I haven't had to because we've been on fire. Boom, we get into our trade, the market runs, we get our profit, we get out. But most of the days I do take at least one cost average trade. And here's what I want you to think about. If you can visually try to picture this. Okay, imagine we see a red candle going down through the sell zone. So I want you to picture this. A red candle goes down through the sell zone. Okay. In fact, let's do this. Let me, here's what I'll do. Let me just draw this real quick on the screen. Okay. So imagine you see a green candle go up like this through the buy zone. Okay. Let's say that green line is a green candle. And then let's say Coach Mo gets into a buy right there where I'm drawing the yellow dash. If the green candle starts to get rejected right here and it starts to come back down, and let's say it comes back down here, then Coach Mo can put a second trade down here, a second buy. That means he has two trades running and they're both for a buy, right? It's also called going long on US 30. It means he's going for a buy. Here's what happens. If price returns just back to where it was, that happens. You have a higher probability for price to return back to where it was than for price to surpass that level. What does that mean? It means that you have a higher chance that the price can at least get back to this level before it goes even higher. Obviously, right? It has to get to that level before it goes higher. So that means you have a higher chance. So what happens is by putting a second trade down here, if price goes back to the original level, your second trade is in a huge profit. And you could close all your trades even if the first position is not in profit. The first position is just break even. And that's what's so nuts, is that the strategy is so good that you can still compound your account even if your first position doesn't even get into profit. It just gets to break even. And that's why we use the cost average strategy. I've done that a lot. I've put in at times 2-3 trades, and then my second and third trade are in a great profit. My first trade is still losing, but the overall result is still a 2, 3, 4, 5% gain. And I close all trades. That means you lost your first trade and you still made money for the day in just a couple of minutes. Absolutely incredible, right? That's why we use that strategy to get into multiple trades. Now, once we get into a trade, you'll see the stats changing, right? If all of the open trades are in floating profit, that means that if the account is in profit, but there's still open trades, that entire section up there will be green. And if they're in a floating loss, then everything will be in red. And that's a quick reference for the trader's mind, for their brain to know, hey, am I winning or losing? Right. And if you're, either way, you want to be very vigilant on how much you're winning or how much you're losing, because the goal is to close the trade as fast as possible. Now, just know that on the software, when you download the software, you'll be able to move that stats box anywhere you want. So you could put it in the left corner, the bottom left corner, the bottom right corner, the top right corner. You could move it around, and it only takes a second to move it around on your MT4 chart. So it's super convenient, because sometimes MT4 is a little clunky on how you can adjust the size of your candles and screen, your zoom in, zoom out features. So sometimes the stats are a little bit blocked by the candles, and you want to see the stats. And so sometimes you'll see the coach, he'll actually move the stats box to another section of the screen, right? You'll all be able to do that. Let's do a quick review of the stats. What are the stats? First off, we have a lot size calculator. What is that? What that is it's an automatic calculator that's built into the software, and the calculator reads your balance, and based on your balance tells you a reasonable lot size that you can use on your trades based on your desired risk. So what does that mean? Now, in order to be legal and compliant, which is our number one priority here, you can adjust your desired risk. So that means the display of the lot size is in your control. You're the one who sets the calculator, the settings of the calculator. You set the settings, super easy, takes 1 second, but you set the settings, and then that's what it'll display. And you could change that if you want to. I believe like by default, I'm don't quote me on this. I think by default, it comes with like a 150 pip, 1% risk, right? And maybe you may not even know what that means, but it comes with a default setting there, just because that's how the software is built. And if you want to change that, you could change that. But that makes it really simple, because as you grow your balance, guess what? Your lot size calculator automatically changes, because it's constantly checking your live balance. If you lose a trade and your balance goes down to the point where you have to adjust your lot size, the lot size calculator will adjust itself down automatically. So we made it super simple, right? You set it up, download the software, and you never have to guess, oh, what lot size should I use? And the lot size that's displayed is if you only did 2 trades normally, right? That means you have 1 entry and 1 cost average trade. So that's what that section is. If you don't understand any of that, don't worry about it. It's not even that important, right? We just want to, this is for, people who know about trading and lot sizes, and they really want to make sure they have all these tools at their disposal. The next section we have is the profit or loss display in US dollar. Why do we have that? Different people trade differently, right? Some people say, okay, I'm going to go for $50 a day, or I'm going to go for $200 a day. And so by seeing in real time the dollar amount of profit or loss, you can click the close all trades button as soon as it hits that dollar amount, right? Or let's say you have a maximum loss in dollars. Let's say you're like, I'm not willing to lose more than $75 in a day. Okay, well, if you see negative 75 and it's all red in that section, you could click close all trades. We put it up there because we don't want you scrambling around trying to look at normally where MT4 puts your balance of open trades, and you're clicking around all these tabs. You have multiple trades open. You're doing the math. It could get really nerve wracking. So that's why we simplified it and said, look, just add up all the trades in real time and just pop it in that box. Okay. Next to that, what do we have? We have the same concept, but in percentage, profit or loss in percentage instead of in dollars. And that's because other traders, it's not about a dollar amount. It's about a percentage of gain. So they're like, yeah, if I make 2%, I'm going to close. If I make 4%, I'm going to close. And so you could see in real time what percentage of profit or loss that is. And as soon as you hit that, boom, right next to the percentage, what is it? The close all trades box. It's right there. And then the last section of the stats part is a countdown timer showing how much time remains in the current candle period. What does that mean? In the mornings, we trade 1 minute candles, 1 minute charts. That means every candle, whether it's red or green, going up or down, every candle was formed in 1 minute. So it takes 1 minute for a candle to form and to complete. And then the graph moves on to the next candle to see what that's going to do, right? So the countdown timer is showing you how much time is left on the current candle that's forming. When you're first starting off, that's not going to be that important to you, because this is, again, something that's going to take a little bit of time for you to understand the immense value, tremendous value of knowing how much time is left on that candle. The more experienced you become, the more valuable you realize that that feature is. And that's because learning to trade something that's so volatile, it's not about how the candle starts, it's about how the candle finishes. And we used to get scared out of our trades a lot. We would get faked out of our trades a lot. Where, for example, we get into a buy and all of a sudden this huge red candle comes and it starts putting a lot of bearish pressure, and we're going in a drawdown and we're like, oh my gosh, the market's going against us, close all trades. And then we close all the trades. And that was in the first 10 seconds of that candle. And it still had 50 seconds left. And it started to go back up and it ended up going bullish. And we would have won all of our trades, but we got scared and we closed all of our trades super fast. And we started realizing, gosh, it's not about how a candle starts, it's about how a candle finishes. And we put a lot of emphasis on, looking at how much time is left on the candle and how that candle's behaving to see how the candle is going to finish and if it has a chance to finish in the direction we want it to go or not. Right. And that's how Coach Mo, our whole trading team, that's how we look at the charts and look at the candles to determine when to get out. Right. That's why Coach Mo gets out at certain times. He's looking at how's the candle finishing. It's so important, right, to know that. So that's a countdown timer. If you switch to the 5-minute chart or the 15-minute chart, right, the countdown timer automatically adjusts in real time. It'll show you if you're on a 1-hour chart and there's 37 minutes left on that 1-hour candle, then it'll say 37 minutes and 16 seconds, whatever it is, right? So super valuable to have that information at your fingertips. Remember, we have the scalper software that we're launching with the morning strategy, and that's gonna be really valuable, especially for those of you that like to trade longer time frames. You'll be able to trade 1 hour, 4-hour daily charts if that's your thing, and you'll have a countdown clock there to guide you through all of your decision making. Now, here's something that we cover in the mornings, right? We look to close trades if we see around a 3% loss or drawdown. Why do we say around? Because again, we're looking at candle behavior. It's not just the percentage. And also the market moves so fast. There's times where, like, that's why we built the close all trades button. There was times where I was up $600 on my live account. And then by the time I closed my trades, it took like 4 seconds because I didn't have an instant execution button. And in those 4 seconds, the market started to go against me. And by the time I closed out my 2 or 3 trades, instead of making $600, I only made 280 because the market moved in 4 seconds that fast. Right. And that's why we say it's around 3% that we start looking at that. And we started thinking, gosh, it's not worth trying to close your trades individually. It's not. Like, if you're going to lose 100, 200, $300 of profit because it took you an extra 4 seconds, that's why we built the feature to have the instant execution, so that when you're at the profit you like, you close, boom, you're done. You got the profit you were looking for, right? We realize the value of speed. Now, an engulfing candle just means that if you get into a buy, and then, so all I want you to do is just look at the size of this green candle here on the chart. Look at the size of that green candle, and then look at the size of the red candle next to it. The red candle is bigger than the green candle. That's called a bearish engulfing candle. That means the size of this candle engulfed the size of the green candle. And, you'll learn a little bit about price action, right? You'll learn a little bit. These are things that it's just going to become familiar to you. Some of you, you're like, man, this is a foreign language right now. That's okay. That's why I said be patient with yourself. You don't need to know all this to succeed on the call, obviously, because people are succeeding like crazy without the information. But I promise you, the more you plug in and the more you become familiar, right? Study to show thyself approved, right? Like, the more you learn, the more in control you'll become, the more comfortable you'll become. You know what happens when you start to learn this? The nerves start to calm. You know what happens when your nerves calm? you could think with clarity. You know what happens when you could think with clarity? You're focused on the goal. You know what happens when you can focus on your goal? You can hit the goal a lot easier, right? So what does that mean? It means that by learning, you can hit your goal a lot easier. That's the point, right? So that's why we cover some of this information so that over time it becomes familiar with you. Now, in price action, that's like a term used to explain the action of the candles that you're seeing. Where's price going in real time, right? It's not an indicator. It's not a tool. It's not a software. It's just a term talking about the actual action of the price, right? When you get opposite color engulfing candles like that, like if you get into a buy because you think the market's going up, but then all of a sudden a red candle comes in that's bigger, any experienced trader will tell you that that is a clear sign that there's a high probability at that point that the market is changing directions. And your original assessment of, let's say we thought it was going to go up because it was piercing through a key buy zone, that now that assessment has changed. The market changes from moment to moment. And that's why we would look to close our trade if we started seeing an engulfing candle go against us on either side, right? Now, the goal again, what is it? Grow the account by a few percent, close the trade as quickly as possible while maximizing the profit. We know this. Losing days are unavoidable. I hope you don't take this the wrong way, okay? But I'm waiting for our next losing day. I am. I'm waiting for it. It's going to happen. We will have a losing day. Okay. You can quote me on that. I'm waiting for that. We've been on a hot streak. And a lot of times we do go on hot streaks. We've gone weeks without having a losing day. In fact, some of us have gone months without having a losing day. Just so you know, that's what's so nuts about this. But again, eventually it's going to hit. It's going to happen. We're going to have a losing day. Losing days are the best days ever for this strategy because your brain needs to realize what can happen on the worst day. Like, how bad can this get? Are you going to die? No, your brain will realize, oh my gosh, if I follow the system, then the worst day I lose, 2 or 3%, but I just won 7 days in a row and I'm up, 21%. So I lost 3% and I'm still up 18%. And you're like, wow, that's it? That's the losing day? That's the worst day by following the system? Oh my gosh, we're going to win. That's what you're going to realize if you follow the system, right? It's a whole nother skill set on, if you're wrong, being willing to admit it quickly. Oh my gosh, if you have a hard time admitting when you're wrong, then we're going to have to watch out for your money, right? Because in trading, you got to be humble. In trading, you can't have an ego. In trading, it's not about perfection, right? Our goal is to help you reduce errors. When you lose a trade, guess what? That doesn't mean you committed an error. If you followed the system and lost the trade, that was not an error. If you deviated from the system and you took a trade when you shouldn't have taken a trade, or if you held on to a trade longer than you should have held on to a trade and you lost, then yes, that's an error. If you win, listen to this, if you win a trade and you make money, but you did it by not following the system, you committed an error. What? Yeah, you still committed an error. So our goal as coaches for you is to get you to a place where you minimize the amount of errors that you're committing, whether you're making money or not. It's not about making money. I promise you, this is not about making money. It's about not committing errors. It's about following the plan, because we know that following the plan has the highest probability of compounding your account into crazy wealthy levels over time. And as soon as you start deviating from the plan and doing things because you think you're amazing because you had some winning days, is the time where you're going to be like most traders and you're going to go through what's called a boom and bust cycle, where you're just going to think, like you figured out something, and then you're going to hurt yourself and you're going to look back. You're going to say, man, dang it. Yesterday I made 35% on my account and I was trying to do the same thing today, even though I wasn't following the system, and I lost 60%. That's what we see, right? So it's not about winning or losing. It's about following the system. So that means even if you lost, but you followed the system, you are successful. Okay. So I'm waiting for the next losing day. I know some of you are like, why would you say that? Because it has to happen, guys. It has to happen. This is real. Okay. This isn't some scam where you're seeing these fake numbers on your screen thinking that there's real money there and there's not. This is real trading. Okay. And you need to feel what it feels like to get hit. You know why? Because you're going to get hit and then you're going to realize that you're still standing. That's why. And you're going to be like, oh man, I was so afraid of getting hit. If you're afraid of losing, that's like you're afraid of getting punched, but you want to be a successful boxer. A successful boxer knows he's going to get hit. But the question is can he stay standing? Can he stick to the plan of his coaches? Can he still come back fighting and throwing, his hooks and combos even after getting punched? That's what we do here, right? You're going to get hit, but can you keep punching back? Can you stick to the plan? That's why I said we're going to be doing this for a long, long time. The goal is to have more winning days than losing days. Hey, we've already proven that to most of you, right? We're on 7 days in a row. We had a losing day where our coach didn't follow the plan last Friday, right? He was adjusting the lot size calculator. His lot size was too high. The calculator was throwing him off. He took 5 cost average trades. He was scrambling. He went beyond the drawdown threshold, right? And that was committing an error. Even if he had won that day, it would have still been committing an error. So we wouldn't have, been all excited even with a win, because like, no, you didn't win according to the plan. And once you deviate from the course, now there's no way to track the data and see if what you're doing is ever going to work long term. It's all about being able to track what you're doing to see if that's going to work long term. But then what did we do? We've come back and today was the 7th business day in a row that we've traded without a loss. Even if you lose 1 to 2 times per week, you'll still grow the account. I don't know if we've ever had 2 losing days in a week. I'm trying to think back and I don't know if that's happened. But here's what's so cool is that even if it did happen, we would still grow our account. We would still compound. We would still experience the power of crazy exponential compounding growth on our money, where in 3, 6, 9 months, the balance has just become obscene, unbelievable. You're going to have to like take a double look and say, is this real? And that's even if we lost twice a week. I don't know if we've ever lost twice a week. I know we've had once a week, right? I have a total myself personally in the last, I think I'm at 163 days. I have a total of 4 losses. And I think total as a group with all of our coaches and training, we have a total of 8 losses in about 163 days. So, at the rate we're going, guys, we're set up for a massive win. The question is can we keep it up? Can we stick to the plan? Can we not get greedy? Can we not get overly confident? Can we remain diligent and disciplined? Can we remain humble and admit when we're wrong and close our trades on time? Right? That's day by day. Every day you got to make that decision. So here's an example we show you. I want you guys to study this. Please do me a favor, because this is going to be the central focus of our marketing and campaign here. It's all about compounding. Go to a compound calculator. Like just Google daily compound interest calculator, right? Because we trade every day. So you want a daily calculator. Go there, punch in a number, and then run it for some time and see what the results are. This is one of the examples. If you had $2,500 and you win 3% a day, now, if you've been on our calls, you know that that's possible, right? To win 3% a day. So $2,500, 3% a day, but you lose every 4th day. That means every single week you have at least 1 loss. Now, if your loss was on a Monday and then you won 3 more days in a row, that means you lost Monday, you won Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then you lost again on Friday for that week, right? And then it'll flip flop based on the calendar with this example here, but it would average out to still 9% a week. Because if you follow along, let's say you lose on Thursday, for example. Okay, so you win Monday 3%, you win 3% Tuesday, now you're up 6%. You win 3% Wednesday, now you're up 9%. You lose on Thursday, you lose 3%, so you're back down to 6%. And then on Friday, you win 3%, you're back up to 9%. That's how that works. So it's an average of 9% a week in 1 year. which is nothing, in 1 year of time, $2,500 would grow to over $130,000. That's the power of compounding. This is the most important part of the plan, is you guys need to know what is your compounding number, right? That's your homework assignment. What is your compounding number? This right here. This is a good plan right here. This doesn't have to be your plan. I'm just saying it's a good plan. 2,500 bucks to grow it in 1 year to 130 grand. But you'd have to show up every day, right? You wouldn't be able to miss a day, and you'd only be able to lose 1 or 2 times a week in order to achieve those results. Some of you guys it's going to blow you away. What, if you're like, okay, I'm going to go for, whatever, 4% a day, and I'm starting with $5,000 or something. I mean, the numbers just get crazy. It turns into, millions of dollars. And here's the problem. The problem is that a lot of people don't have that kind of money in their account. And so then the elephant in the room is like, is this possible? Like, if this was possible, why isn't everyone doing it? Well, look at what people do. Like, how many people out there have a system like this? Nobody. No one has a system like this, right? People get involved in systems that they think can compound their account, and they're not sustainable. People also have a problem with discipline and consistency. People don't show up for themselves. People don't show up for their own success. How's someone's account balance supposed to grow when someone only has enough discipline to show up twice a week? That's not going to grow the account. It's crazy. If you only showed up 4 out of 5 days, how dramatic of a difference that is on compounding your account, right? It's about showing up every day. I'll be the first person to tell you, I've never been the most disciplined person most of my life. Now I am. I'm 37 years old, and I'm finally at a place in my life where I'm so much more disciplined. I'm still not as disciplined as I'd like to be, but I'm way more disciplined than what I ever have been. Why is that? Because my eyes are lit with the fire of the vision of compounding our accounts and making sure I show up for you every single day, because this is important to me, right? I'm committed to you. Our coaches are committed to you. Dr. Lewis, committed to you. Steve Wallach, committed to you. Vanessa, committed to you. Come on now. We're committed. We're going to be here every single day. We're here for you. We're not here for ourselves. We don't have to be here for ourselves. If it was for ourselves, we would just do this by ourselves. We're sharing this with you because we know how this can change your life if you show up every day. But we need you to show up for yourself. You need to make a decision that you're going to commit to the calls, and that you're going to show up and you're going to apply the strategy. This isn't a joke. You're going to look back and say, man, this year's been awesome. You'll be blown away. We're going to have MyFX books coming out soon, where you're going to see live accounts of people that have been in our beta group the last couple of months. It's going to blow you away. It's going to be numbers that you've never seen in the world of trading before. You're going to be like, what? This is a live account? Oh my gosh, is this an FX book? How did this person grow their account like that? It's because they show up every day, right? That's what it's about. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Now, real quick, this is important. Let's talk about lot size for yourself. We trade about a 0.01 for every $1,000. This allows for us to have more than one position if needed, right? That means if you have $1,000, we use a 0.01. If we have $2,000, we do a 0.02. $3,000, 0.03. $10,000, that'd be 0.1, right? So here's a little bit of math, and I want to forewarn you that for some of you, this can go over your head. This is one of the things about trading that most people never understand. Like, they never learn it. It's just that their brain has a hard time of making sense. So this isn't something that you have to know perfectly, but let me say this. I'm going to simplify it, and you have to have some kind of understanding. What are we talking about here? We're talking about when you get into a trade, you need to know how much money you're risking. That's it. Like, if you don't know how much money you're risking, how are you going to hit your goal? How are you going to say, like, yeah, my goal is 3% a day? Okay, how much are you risking per trade? I don't know. Well, then how do you know when you're going to hit 3%? You don't, right? If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. How do you hit a target you can't see? Impossible, right? A successful trader, they know, okay, I'm going in and I'm going to place this many trades. So I'm going to place a maximum of, let's say, 2 trades, and I'm going to use this lot size. And this is how much it's going to impact my account if the candle moves this much. Boom, you got your plan. That's it, right? So here, I'm going to explain this to you. A 0.01 lot size equals a $1 balance impact for every $1, also known as 10 pips of price change on US 30. Woof, that's a mouthful, right? Some of you, you're never going to get that. It is what it is. But let me explain something. So US 30, right now it's sitting around $31,000, right? $31,000. You know, yesterday it was like 31,100. It hit at one point like 30,859, right? But let's just say it's around $31,000. For every $1 of movement on US 30, like let's say it goes from 31,000 to 31,001, for every $1 of change, your trade, if you have an open trade, your trade balance will change $1 if you're on a 0.01. Okay, so I'll give you one more example. Let's say I take a 0.01 trade for a buy. And US 30 at the time of my entry is at 31,000 even, 31,000 flat. If US 30 goes up $1 to 31,001, then my open trade will be up $1, $1 of profit. If US 30 goes down, if it goes against me and it goes from 31,000 to 30,999, my open trade will be negative $1. If US 30 goes down $3, now my trade's down $3. If US 30 goes down $10, now my trade's down $10. So every $1 of movement on US 30 is $1 of impact on your open trade for every 0.01. Why is that important? Because if you increase your lot size, it increases how much your trade goes plus or negative for every $1 of change on US 30. So here's an example. If you trade at 0.05, so let's say you go from 0.01 up to 0.05, and US 30 moves $5, right? That would be a $5 impact on a 0.01, but because you're at 0.05, that's a $25 impact, right? It multiplies. It multiplies. So a 0.05 trade moves $5 for every $1 of movement on US 30. So the easiest way to think about it is just see, okay, what is your lot size? Let's say it's 0.01, 0.02, 0.03. For every 0.01 that you increase it, like from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just know that that's how many dollars you're increasing the impact on your trade, but for every $1 of movement on US 30. So if you have like a 0.1 instead of a 0.01, that means it's 10 times bigger of a trade. A 0.1 is $10 of movement on your trade for every $1 of movement on US 30. That means if US 30 only moves $3, your trade is being impacted plus or minus $30. Okay, a 0.5, that's a half of a lot. That's not even a big trade, right? The broker charges like $4 for that, depending on what broker you use, right? By the way, on that, guys, you could use any broker. People keep asking, what broker do you recommend? We don't recommend any broker. This isn't one of those things where like your money's all locked up into some centralized company. You got to change your thinking. This is real trading. You could use any MT4 broker in the world. Just make sure it's trusted, right? Like do your research, ask around, make sure that you know people that are using the broker that can give you positive feedback. Several people in our community use different brokers, right? You could use any broker you want. You know, I showed someone which broker I was using and they're like, oh, I'm not sure if I could trust them. I'm like, who cares? Then go use a different broker. You know, I mean, this isn't, you're not bound, right? Like, remember, you're the one in control here. We're not controlling any of your choices, right? Now, here's what's important on a 0.5, that's a small trade, but check this out, on a $5 movement of US 30. So this is where I want you to start really paying attention here. On a $5 movement of US 30 price, that means if it went from 31,000 to 31,005, on a 0.5 lot size, which is 50 times bigger than a 0.01. That's a $250 impact on your trade, right? That's crazy. Why is that crazy? Because most 1 minute candles on US 30 move between 20 to 80 bucks. So do the math. Can you imagine if someone did a 0.5 lot size trade, which in the world of Forex, that's a small trade. That's not even that big, right? But on an indice chart with the US 30, can you imagine an $80 movement on a 0.5 lot size? That means for every $5, it moved 250 bucks. That means how many $5 increments are there in 80? 16. So what's 16 times 250? That's like a $3,500 impact on your account. One candle, 1 minute, right? We had a guy yesterday on his live account. Now he had 100 grand live, real money. He made $9,000, but he followed the system, right? So like if you have the money to do it, then it's not a big deal. But that's why this is important, is that don't go increasing your lot size. If you look at Coach Mo, I was so proud of him today because he had a $13,000 account and he traded a 0.02, right? A 0.02 can be used on a $2,000 account, right? And he still crushed 1% on his account. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's just crazy what you can do without exposing yourself to risk. Now, for those of you that do understand pips, understand that for every $1 of movement on US 30, that's 10 pips, right? Because some of you are coming from Forex, and Forex, they use pips a lot in talking about profit or losses because everyone trades with a different amount of money. So they all talk a common lingo of pips, and the pips are crazy on US 30, right? A $20 move in like one small candle, that's 200 pips. That's why this is so amazing. I mean, normally in Forex, to catch 200 to 800 pips, you got to trade for like hours, right? And right here, it happens in a minute. That's why we focused on this. We're like, if you're going to trade, get in on the trades that are going to happen quick. Why take 2 hours to do something that you can do in 2 minutes, right? We got to simplify things. That's the way the world is going. So the most important part of knowing what lot size you're using is so you can plan ahead and determine what the maximum amount of profit or loss is that you're willing to accept before closing your trades. If you don't have a plan and you have no idea how the trade is going to impact your money, then it can run wild beyond your expectations. Just like how most adults don't understand compound interest, if you don't learn a little bit of value between your lot size and how that's going to impact your money, it'll blow you away. And that could be good or bad, right? Like if you don't know what you're doing and the trade goes against you, you could have $1,000 account and all of a sudden you're like, I don't know what happened. It just, like in 1 minute, I lost $400. How the heck did that happen? Right. And then you get all upset, right? But it was your mistake. You didn't make a plan. You didn't check your lot size. So like, remember, you're an adult and you're responsible for your money. That's why we tell people, a smart person starts on a demo account to practice. That's why we're leading you with a demo account, right? There's a lot of people trading live, but the coach right now is using a demo account. That's on purpose, right? He has live accounts that he trades every day. He trades live, but on the call, we trade demo because we're leading by example, because we've seen, too many mistakes that people make, and it's not worth it. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have $1,000. I want you to put yourself in these shoes here. You have $1,000. You get on the call and your lot size is higher than the scale that we use, and you make $350. Right? That's 35% gain. Have we seen that happen? Yes, we've seen it. Right? In fact, yesterday, there was a woman who made 30%. Now, let me explain something. If you make $350, you're feeling like you're walking on clouds. I mean, you just, the mind, especially if you're a dreamer and you want to be wealthy, the mind just starts going like, oh my gosh, this is it. I hit the lotto. I'm going to be rich next week. The mind will start making you feel like that. And then you keep trading aggressively. The next day it goes against you. And in 1 or 2 minutes, you lose $350. Or let's say you lose $400. Not only did you just lose everything that you were excited about, it just got ripped away from you. But let's say your balance even went lower than where you started. how's that going to feel? You're going to be deflated. Even though you just made 35% the day before, you're going to be walking around with your head hung low, right? And it can make you frustrated. You just, you can feel like crap. And that we don't want you to do that. There's no reason to do that. Think about the person that's just going for a couple percent a day, right? And they get in, make their 2%, 3%, whatever it is, keep it consistent, keep it realistic. And let's say they make 20, 30 bucks. And then the next day, let's say they lose 2%. Let's say you make 30 bucks. The next day you lose 2%, you lose 20 bucks, and you're still up 10 bucks. Look at the difference there, right? Someone's up 10 bucks so they're up 1% after on their second day. The first example, the person made 35% on the first day and then they lost it all the second day. Who's feeling better? The person who won it all and lost it all, or the person who's up 1%, right? So that's what we've seen over time is, look, our trading strategy is super consistent. We know that. Like, yes, it is consistent. But when it catches you and it goes against you, if you're trading too aggressive, it just doesn't feel good emotionally if you're trading too high and you take a losing day, which is inevitable. And, we need to protect the morale of the community, right? Like, we want you to feel good. You know that a big part of this for us guys and ladies is that, this is about helping you to live an inspired life. Really. Yeah, we're going to make money. Awesome. That's great. We need money, right? But more importantly than that, we want you to have a twinkle in your eyes. We want you to walk with your shoulders up and your head held high, excited. When you talk to people, we want you to be excited. When you talk to your children at home, we want you to be a person that's excited. When you talk to your spouse or your loved one or your partner, we want you to feel excited. We want you to be hopeful. You know what I mean? Like, we want to spread that through the world. We want to spread light. And if you trade too aggressive and you have these volatile swings, ups and downs, then, even if you grow your account, you're not going to have that twinkle in your eye. You're not going to have that joy. And you're going to miss out on what we're trying to do here, right? We have a breakthrough strategy that's going to give people hope that have been hopeless and burnt out for years. I've already seen it. I mean, those are the stories that just were like, yes, we're so glad we're here. People that have lost trust in the industry, they've been burnt out. They've had so many failures. And then now they're like, oh my gosh, I haven't been this excited in years. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen my team this excited in years. Guys, you deserve to be excited. Are you kidding me? I mean, come on, you got one life. You deserve to be completely excited and on fire for your future. But that's only going to happen if you trade responsibly. Let me tell you that. Okay. The last thing here, we're about to wrap these things up. Again, you could use any broker you want, any MT4 broker. We don't recommend brokers. We don't. Yes, we have brokers of choice for ourselves, but we don't make any public recommendations of like, this is the broker you want to use. You could use any MT4 broker, but what's important to know is that the price data on whichever broker you're using may vary from the price data on the coach's screen, right? Because the coach is using a specific broker. So if you're using a different broker, which is highly plausible, just know that US 30 might show that it's at 31,000 on the coach's broker, but then on your broker, it's at like 30,988. You got to be cognizant of that because the trading decisions that the coach is making is based on the price feed of his broker. And if you make decisions based on his price feed and that doesn't align with what's happening on your broker's price feed, then you can have adverse results. It could be different for you, right? Why are there different prices? Because there's different brokers. Every broker has their own price feed. Now, a lot of brokers use similar price feeds. There's really only about 5 primary price feeds in the world. So for the most part, you shouldn't see discrepancies, but we have seen it. We have seen some brokers that have different price feeds. And so the trade looks a little different. It's just like if you understand Forex or you understand Bitcoin, for example, like Bitcoin is purchased and sold on dozens of exchanges out there. And depending on which exchange you're using, that'll determine what the price is on that exchange. Now they all stay within a similar range, right? If Bitcoin is 20,000 on one exchange and then 19,000 on another exchange, then everyone tries to exploit that and it quickly balances out, right? That means everyone tries to buy on the 19,000 and then go sell it on the 20,000 and make $1,000 super fast trying to sell a coin, right? That's called arbitrage. So what happens, because they're buying it at 19,000, what does it do? It bumps the price up because there's a demand on that coin and it pops it back to 20,000 and it breaks even. And then that's when people stop trying to do the arbitrage, right? So that's how open financial systems work. So the same thing with the US 30, that's how it could work. It could vary from broker to broker. So just pay attention. That's all I'm saying. Pay attention to the price feed on your broker versus the price feed on the coach's broker to make sure that the decisions are being made, that you're aware of why. So with that being said, guys, I want to say thank you for tuning in. I have adjusted the settings to where, you know, if you want to unmute yourself, you can, to just say good evening, but we will see you on tomorrow's morning call. Here's what I want to say is that there's more to this. Okay, let me have my camera on here to say hello. There's more to this. Like, take your time. We're going to keep it super, super simple. And we've already, I feel like we've already changed the game on simplicity. And as you guys have seen, even without a lot of this information, you guys can succeed. However, we're not going to do you the disservice of leaving you in a semi-inexperienced or ignorant state. We're going to sharpen the blade. But now you get to earn while you learn, right? Like, you can crush it on our morning calls with us, get the results we're getting while you learn. We want you to learn because you get more in control. And the more you're in control, the more confident you become, and the more you can execute, right? Like, we've already seen some of our students. Oh my gosh, the things they're doing are incredible. They're like, well, I saw this happen with the candle, and so I closed out, I popped in another position, I took it up, and then I wrote it back down. We already have students doing that, right? If you don't know what you're doing, then you can't get that high level of experience on the calls, right? We are going to blow the roof off of trading, period, right? We're going to blow the roof. You're going to see stories of people. We already have them. You're going to hear them. You're going to see them. You're going to see the MyFX books of people that have grown thousands and thousands of percentages and gains on their account. It's going to shock the world. Like, nobody knows about this. If you're in right now, just know this. There's such a small little group that even knows about this right now. It's going to shock the world of trading and cryptocurrency. It's like, what? They're doing what? No way, right? So it's going to come out, and our goal is to help as many people as possible to experience that inside their own financial account. So I'm going to stop there, wrap up the meeting. This was being recorded. Let me stop the recording there.